Welcome to Women on the Move Empowerment Sessions brought to you by the Streaming Sanctuary. I am your host, Alicia Massey, the Kingdom Strategist, and this is the space where faith meets forward movement and empowerment in the spirit. Now, let's be honest for a moment. It's a new year, and for many of us, that familiar urge has already kicked in where you want to start purging everything, right? So you're doing your massive clean out, overhaul, and you have your motto of this year was going to be different, clearing out the old to make space for the new, and that energy is flowing, and the closets are getting emptied out, drawers are being attacked, and you're going through those junk drawers and trying to get rid of all of those things, and hopefully you are confronting your clutter with a spirit of positivity. But here's the real question: how do you get organized in a way that lasts so that when you get to the end of this 365 days, that you don't have to go back and revisit the same clutter year after year? Today's conversation is not just about a quick fix or a pretty bin, even though those pretty bins they do help sometimes. Today we're talking about the peacefully organized lady and how you can navigate a journey into a life of order that protects your peace. You got to protect your piase. This conversation is about establishing systems, sustainability, and a strategy, the kind that will support not only your life, but your calling and your capacity. If you're a woman who is on the move, your systems will have to move with you in every area of your life. And that's what it's all about today: developing systems that work and tackling the inner work that needs to happen so that it can last. So start thinking about the space. If you don't already have a space in mind, start thinking about the space that you want to organize first, and let's get into this conversation. I am super excited to welcome today's guest, Miss Takilla Combs. And I want to give a quick introduction of who Takilla is because she comes with a wealth of knowledge and strategies that are going to help us get our life organized. If you're already a person of organization and you live by systems to keep you organized, this is only going to strengthen what you're already doing. If you're someone who needs to get organized, her information is going to help you develop what you need to do in order to get organized. And honestly, her resume speaks for itself. But here is a little bit about who Takilla is. Takilla Combs is a life organizing strategist. She's an entrepreneur and a proud mother of two. And she is the founder of Extreme Audacity Organized Solutions LLC, which was established in 2017. So you can see she's like 10 years into this thing. Um, she serves the Charlotte metro area, and she is also a president of the National Association of Black Professional Organizers. She is dedicated to empowering minority and women owned businesses through educating them, strategic resources, and trusted referrals. Takilla has a nickname, and she is widely known as the Laundry Guru, which I love that. She got to talk about that a little bit. The Laundry
Yes.
Guru, and she specializes in creating innovative, sustainable laundry systems that reduce overwhelming and increase your productivity. Her work definitely extends beyond organizing physical space, but she helps her clients align with systems that bring clarity to their life, harmony, and simplification. It's all
Mm-hmm.
about simplicity to their everyday life. She is a passionate mentor and a youth leader. I know personally that the youth, they love her, they cling to her, they hug her, and they share things with her because she's committed to uplifting young women and teens through being an encouraging voice, being one who can help to guide them and serving as a teen liaison and a church youth leader. She has been guided by the philosophy you either take control of your clutter or your clutter will take control of you. Amen. Takilla
Amen.
is a catalyst for transformation, empowerment, and lasting change. She doesn't just organize spaces, but she helps women regain control, clarity, and peace. And outside of organizing her life, a fun fact about Takilla is she is a lifelong dancer, and she always dances with a smile. I've had the pleasure of seeing her dance. With in different worship environments, and so she always dances with a smile. And she began as a cheerleader when she was a young toddler and trained in professional dance from the age of 11. And now she does do worship dancing and liturgical style dancing, line dancing. So she does it all, Detroit ballroom dancing and Chicago stepping. So
Hello.
yeah, maybe you have to do a session on dancing for us.
Listen, that's what I love to do outside of organizing.
Organizers. So, Tequila, thank you so much for joining me in this space, and I really appreciate your willingness when I reached out to you to be a part of this because I was just thinking about, it's the new year, and I know a lot of women, including myself, is always like, okay, what can I do to start the year off right? But sometimes by the time we get to the end of the first quarter, we're like, okay, I started off in a, hitting the road running, and
Yep.
now, I life is in shambles. I try to be an organized person,
Hmm.
but I don't live by myself, so
Yeah.
that can make things a little bit different. I'm not going to say it makes it harder, but it makes things a little bit different. But thank you, Tequila, for joining me today.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here. Love talking to you. We go on our lunch dates and talk, 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 talk. I
Yes.
love talking about organization. So, listen, y'all just getting a little glimpse of our conversations that we have on the side. So, I'm
Yeah.
excited to be here. And I will just piggyback on what you just said. When you don't live alone, it makes life a little bit more challenging to live the organized life. So, because you got to get buy in from everybody, you got to get buy in from your spouse, your kids, and even sometimes yourself, because sometimes we fall off the wagon, right? So,
Exactly.
I just wanted to, put that in there because you brought it up. So I'm like, let me go ahead and touch that real quick.
But I like how you said that you got to get buy-in. I think I forget that sometimes. I need to get buy-in with the people around me because my family be like, if you don't get it out the way in about 2 days, Mama is gonna do something with it. Like, where
Listen.
is it at? Just ask her.
That's right. That's right. Listen, sometimes get put up, sometimes it get put in the trash. We don't know.
Sometimes we don't know
Okay.
where it go.
Listen. So if you just put it away, then we won't have that issue. Okay.
Put it in yours, whatever. Like, because if you have your own system and you just put it where you know you can find it, you don't have to ask me to put it
Listen.
in.
That's
You
right.
know,
That's right.
I already know where it is. So true. So, Tequila, I want to kind of kick things off a little bit because the question that's in my mind is how did you get into this career and this life changing space of professional organization? Because, like I said, I am a person who lives by a code of organization. I like to know where things are, but that works for me on an individual basis, right? Like
Right.
I
Right.
don't I don't think I could go into someone's home and help somebody else organize because everybody think, like you said, you got to get buy-in. Everybody thinks
Hmm.
differently, and I'll be like, no, you need to put your shoes here. You need to put this here, and they be like, nah, they don't work for me. So, how did you get into this space of having organizations not just a part of your life that you control, but being able to go into other people's space as a trusted voice to help them get organized?
Man, so like you said, you like organization, and even as a young child, I was a pretty organized person.
Mhm.
One that I love to organize the CDs and DVDs in the house. Listen, the young folk don't know nothing about that. So we had bookshelves and bookshelves of movies. And so for me, I would just sit there and put them in alphabetical order, right?
Oh, wow.
The CDs, we had shelves and shelves of those. I will put them in alphabetical order. My mama was, she was a collector of those things.
Okay.
And then she had the shelving close to my room. So it was nothing for me to go and just put it in alphabetical order. And listen, I dare you to put it in the wrong spot, okay? We're gonna have a problem. So it started early. I would go in and change my mom's kitchen around and to what I thought would work best, okay? Because my mom wasn't a messy person, but she wasn't an organized person, right?
Right.
Uh, and so I would just change things around to where I was like, oh, this will work better. This will work. And mind you, I was still middle school, high school. I was not that old, okay? Not a young adult or anything. And so then my sister also saw the value in my gift. And so she texted me, or not texted, she called me because texting wasn't even really a for real thing back in the day. But she called me and she was like, I'm moving to Charlotte. I need help getting packed. At this time, she was living in Seattle.
Okay.
She said, if I flew you out here, would you help me get packed and get moved? And I was like, girl, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so all right, so I'm gonna even back up a little bit further. So I would go over my siblings' house, my sister-in-law's house, anybody's house, and if I saw that your pantry was not up to my standard, I would be like, "This is I." Alicia, I'm not lying. I would be like, "Can I fix that for you?" Listen, and it was just I don't know what made me think that that was okay, but I did it, and I
It's
always
the
would get
way
a
your brain
yes.
was wired.
I would always get a yes, Alicia. People would let me just fix their stuff. My niece, she just had a baby. She's 23. I remember when she was born. I went to her, I went to the house after she was born. We got home from the hospital. And I went into the nursery and I literally just revamped it. I was like, okay, my baby told me that she wanted it here. She wanted this over here. And I organized the entire nursery. This is a story we still tell to this day. So I've always been one that I would be in somebody's space and want to make it better. So
Mm.
my sister called me. She was like, "Come help me get moved, and so I can get organized and all this stuff and get moved to Charlotte." So I went. She flew me out. Me and the boys went out there, and she has two boys exactly my kids' age, so they just played the whole time. And I got her all packed up, and she said this to me. This was probably 18 years ago. She was like, "You should do this as a, you should do a business. Like
Mm.
you should do this for a living." And I was like, "Girl, ain't nobody gonna pay me to do this. Like this is so fun for me. Like
Right.
I'm in my space. Like this is I just love it." And so I just blew it off.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, I was by this time I had moved to Charlotte too, in the Mooresville area, and so I was living here, and I had just got fired from a job that I hated. Okay.
Okay.
So I was at her house helping her get move her office from one room to the other, helping her get organized and all these things. And this time it was God.
Mm.
I sat on a couch and I literally took the mail opener and I opened the piece of mail and the Lord said it's time. And in that moment, I literally just started bawling. I was there by myself. I don't even know. She probably was in the house somewhere, but I was sitting by myself in her new office and I just started crying because I knew exactly what it meant. I
Mm-hmm.
hadn't thought about being a professional organizer. Now, this was probably 10 years later. I hadn't thought about being a professional organizer. I didn't even know what it was. So
Mm-hmm.
I went home after I left her house and I did research, and that was in December of 2016. And my mind was blown.
Wow.
I was like, there is no way that people are getting paid this much money to do what I've been doing for free all these years.
Wow.
My mind was blown. That was December 2016. January 2017, I started my business. I didn't know what I was doing. I just knew I wanted to help people get organized. So I started doing all these advertisements on Facebook and Craigslist, which,
Mm-hmm.
we
That's old school.
that's old school. And it was like one of the scariest places to be to do advertisement because it's like everybody was saying there's serial killers on there. You can't go in
Mm-hmm.
people's house or whatever. But that's where I got my very first client from, was Craigslist.
Okay.
So the rest is history. I've been doing it ever since. I just love helping people, and I learned because I heard you say, I don't think that I can go into people's houses and just tell them where to put stuff. Well, once you get into the field, you learn to listen. And
Okay.
even no matter what gig you're doing, no matter what job you're doing, if you're working for a client. If you're a McDonald's cashier, you're working for somebody. You got to listen to their order,
Right.
right? So I started learning to listen and then create a space that worked for them, not me, but still be organized. And
Okay.
so that's how I got quote unquote good at it, because I listened and then I started to implement things that worked for them, because every shoe system doesn't work for one shoe system is not going to work for everybody.
Right.
One closet system. And even if I go in people's homes, I can see how they're already living
Mm.
and make the necessary adjustments to make what they've already created just a little bit better to suit their lifestyle.
So it sounds like you've, I mean, this has been ingrained in you since you were a little girl.
Yeah.
Um, telling your mom how to organize. Well, not even telling your mom, just
I didn't
doing
tell
it.
her. I was doing
You
it and
just
then
showing up
getting in
doing it.
trouble because she couldn't find stuff.
Tequila, where's the spices? Tequila, where's the Tupperware? Mama, the Tupperware is over here
That's
because
right. That's right.
so you've always had a personal relationship with having things ordered, having things organized so that life is not cluttered, so that life doesn't feel overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about how your sister told you, like, look, you need to help other people, you need to make this your business. And you were like, no way,
Yeah.
not
No.
gonna happen.
No.
But divine opportunity stepped in. You get let go of corporate America, so now you're no longer in this marketplace. And God says, it's time. It's
Yep.
time. So you knew what God was talking about. So, my question to you is, as you're tidying up this space for other people and you're
Mm-hmm.
doing the work and you are working your gift of helps, right? Do
Yes.
you see this as ministry?
Absolutely.
Mhm.
100%. People don't buy me. I mean, people don't buy the service, they buy me.
Mhm.
They buy my personality. They buy the love language that I exude to them. They buy because who I am as a Christian, right? It exudes off of me. The love of Christ exudes off of me to help walk them through this challenging time.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's not just about the physical stuff. Most of the time, it's more emotional. They've inherited their dad's stuff after he passed,
Okay.
or they've gone through a divorce and they are just everything is just piled up. They have to hurry up and move. It's so many layers to it that God gives me the opportunity to touch people without necessarily laying hands on them and praying for them, but to minister to them through helping them transition their life to from chaos to clarity. So
Wow.
yes, I absolutely believe it's a ministry. And I love the way God has allowed me to touch people's lives from so many different economic areas,
Okay.
right? So many economic levels and so many different backgrounds, races. I mean, the amount of people I've gotten the opportunity to meet is just mind blowing. And
Mm.
that's one of the best things about what I do is learning different or experiencing different environments and lifestyles, and how we all are going through something.
Right.
It seems different, but it's almost the same. It just looks a little bit different.
And you talked about how people inherit things from other people and that emotional attachment. It can be hard to let go of a family member's belongings. It can even with a divorce, even though the marriage is ended, it could be hard to let go of those tangible items because, maybe in the back of that person's mind, there's a rekindle that they want to happen, or maybe some sense of failure. So I'm glad that you recognize and you walk into what you do as a ministry because, like you said, people are not just buying the service, but they are, and maybe I'll use another word, they are investing in your ministry. They are investing in you
Absolutely.
because you're bringing about change. And one thing that I heard while you were speaking was healing and deliverance
Absolutely.
that's happening in these spaces, that there is healing that's happening as you are allowing them to let go of what doesn't bring them joy and declutter the space around them so that they can receive harmony and peace that God wants them to have. But talk a
Mm-hmm.
little bit about, because you've been up close and personal with people during some traumatic times, I'm sure, probably highs and lows,
Yeah.
right? Where people are going through different changes. But in your experience, how does being disorganized on a physical level reflect what's happening emotionally or even mentally for women? Women particularly.
Yeah. Um, so I just want to touch back on what you said a little minute ago. So the challenging part when we're trying to let go of things is we attach the thing to the person in an unhealthy manner.
Okay.
And so we think that if we let go of an item, it's going to make this person upset or it's going to change your relationship with this person. You know, when our mother is gone, right, she's not going to love us any less. If we change the way the physical item holds the memory,
Mm.
meaning you don't have to have all of her shirts, you can create a pillow from the shirts,
Okay.
right? So if you change the dynamic of your thought process of the item, it'll help you to actually get through that process, right? You don't have to hold all the physical items. You can create a memory from it. You can make a collage of a picture of the shirts or a quilted blanket or all of these things. And I have this list of purging provoking questions that I give to my clients that helps them walk through that purging process because that's the most challenging part of getting organized is the purging and the healing of letting go of items because I'm going to get that size again. My mom gave me that mug. I paid too much money for that
Mhm.
item. All these things that we think are valid, right? They can be valid, but sometimes it's more of I just got to look at it just a little bit different. And so I challenge people to look at those things a little bit different.
Mm.
Yeah.
I like how you talked about the memories and not keeping 20 t-shirts, but taking those 20 t-shirts and making it a quilt or making it into a pillow. Because, like, I'm telling you, I would have never thought about that. Because I'd
Yeah.
be like, we got to throw these 20 shirts away, maybe keep five of the shirts.
Yeah.
But the people, I mean, they are attached to the item, but they are attached to the person who held the item,
Yes.
right? And like you said, if this person is gone, there, I mean, mama's not gonna love you. She ain't gonna get mad from the grave because you threw it
No.
away.
No, she's not.
But and then you talked about the purging question.
Purging
See, see,
provoking questions.
see, that's why you are in this extreme.
Yes. Yeah. So
this
the
this is
purging
why you
provoking
receive.
questions. Yeah,
And so,
they
like,
help.
talk about them. Like, what are some of the questions that are on this purging provoking questions list?
Yeah. So have you used it in the past 12 months?
Okay,
Do you intend on using it in the next 12 months?
okay,
If you could get rid of it for if you could purchase it again for less than $20 in less than 20 minutes, would you be willing to get rid of it?
mm,
Um, would this be better value to somebody else than you?
okay.
Right? Or is this a are you holding on to this for because of regret?
Okay.
So that's just some of them, but it's
Yeah.
like about 10 or 15 questions that help you to challenge you on that journey. And if anybody emails me at extreme audacity info at extremeaudacity.com, I'll gladly send them the purging provoking questions.
Okay, I'll drop that email in so that people can
Yeah.
get that. So these questions, they definitely they challenge your connection to the item. So it really does help you think from like a monetary perspective, from an emotional perspective. Like what type of attachment do you have to this item? Because
Right.
I can relate to not want to get rid of something because I'm like, I spent too much money on this.
Hello.
I paid this amount of money, even though I haven't worn it in 12 months, like, but
Yep.
I paid too much money for it.
Yep.
And I don't want to let it go. And then I don't want to give it to, the Goodwill or whatever, where they're
Yep.
just going to sell it for $5 or $6 or something
Yep.
like that. Because like the monetary attachment for me probably is the number one attachment that I have to most of my items.
And
Anything, anything I don't spend money, throw it away. I don't care.
yeah, 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 yeah. And it's really one of the biggest things that hold people back. For one, we value things in a way that society doesn't. So the value that you think the actual item holds is probably less than what it actually
Right.
is at the moment, right? So we'll hold on to whatever, a dress, a purse, or whatever because we paid so much money for it. But do you want the space or do you want the stuff? You
Mm,
got to choose, right? So you can keep all of those handbags because you did maybe some unhealthy purchasing and bought all these expensive handbags, but now they're taking up too much space.
right.
So do you want your space or do you want the stuff? And you got to make a choice.
Or otherwise you're gonna spend my money buying a bigger house.
Spend more because your house is not growing.
Right. Your house is not growing.
It's
So
not
either you
growing.
want the space. I like the do you want the space or do you want the stuff?
Yeah.
And sometimes it's all about that sacrifice. You got to sacrifice the stuff in order to make the space. I remember this time, this was probably about a year ago. I had cleaned out my closet to kill them.
Mm-hmm.
And I had got rid of probably about 5 or 6 bags of clothes and shoes. And I was so excited because like I not only did I have space in my closet, but I had like all these hangers that didn't have any clothes on them. And I was like,
Oh,
man, look at this. Look,
look at me.
Alicia, look at what you did, girl. But by the end of the year, them hangers was right back. And it was so funny because I remember like thinking like as I was buying stuff and I'm like, wait a minute, I used to have like 40 extra hangers and when it got to 20, I was like, okay. And I'm like, okay, at least you got 10 hangers left. You can't fill the rest of it anyway. But
Listen.
but
Yeah.
that happens. And
It,
that's why we're having this conversation so that we can implement healthy systems so that when you get to the end of this year, if you got some empty hangers in your closet, because I got some, I started the year with some empty hangers. Them hangers
uh-huh.
are not gonna be full.
Yeah. And that's a part of the systems that we have to put in place in our lives. A lot of us shop for different reasons, and that's another thing that causes us to build clutter is because we're going through something emotional, and so we shop,
Mhm.
right? And your space doesn't grow like you said, so you have to buy another house. But also, like the items that you're bringing in, you have to release stuff.
Mhm.
The law of reciprocity is still in play.
Mm.
God will not continue to fill your life with stuff if you won't release things, right?
Go ahead,
So
girl. Keep
to
preaching.
you have to be willing to release things because your hands can't open, right?
Mhm.
If you're holding on to the things. So in order for God to place things in your hand, you have to be willing to release things.
Mm.
You like I taught my kids this from a young age. Like Christmas is coming, right? Birthday is coming, the new school year is coming. Okay, you guys, what are we going to get rid of? We have to get rid of some things in order for us to bring things in,
Right.
right? So that's been an ongoing thing in my house, and my kids are awesome at it. Like I don't have to ask them to donate things. I don't have to. They be like, oh, I don't wear this no more. Miles just put a bag of stuff up here. just because he's like, I don't wear that no more, and he's been shopping a little bit too much, but that's neither here nor there. However, he has recognized that I'm bringing things in,
So I need to
and
make
so I
sure.
need to release things. And I didn't
Mm,
have to have a conversation with him at all about that. So the law of reciprocity stands. You can't continue to bring things in your life without releasing because it gets cluttered. You have no clarity. Your vision gets clouded. It just really does bring you down when you're just continuously being greedy and
mm.
bringing things in, and not releasing.
The
Your
law of
body can't
reciprocity.
even handle things just continuously coming in. You have to release. Your body has to release.
Mm. Girl, you done look, you done said a lot. I need a keyboard, I need an organ. Na, na, na,
Listen.
na, na, na. Girl, because I'm over here like I'm getting chills. Like, okay, the law of reciprocity, you can't get stuff being greedy. Like, let
It's a
Lord,
word.
Lord, is
It's a
this for me or
word.
for them?
It's a
You
word. And
know?
that's why it's ministry.
Yes.
Because it's not all of these things, these revelations that I've gotten over the years has
Yeah.
come from God. It's something that I've learned, that I've allowed myself to, like, I like shift. My mind had to shift too.
Right.
Even though I liked order, I had to be able to help people get to the other side. And you
Right.
can't just help them get to the other side by saying get rid of stuff. You got to help
Mhm.
them change their perspective.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
you've taken the time to invest in your gift, invest into what God is revealing to you so that you can help other people in their space. How do you deal with clients that um are under this pressure, and as women we can feel that pressure to have it all together, and that can be
Mm,
so overwhelming, it can be so consuming. So how do you help clients shift from this spirit of perfectionism
mm.
into peace?
Lord, um, get over it. It's not gonna happen. Okay. At least you know I'm a realist. I talk to my clients like this because I just feel like you want me to keep it real with you. You invested in me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we did our consultation and we connected, and you
Right.
got it. So you got to understand that you're never going to be perfect. Your house is never going to be perfect. My house is never perfect, but
Mm-hmm.
my house is easy to clean up, right? Because it's organized.
Right.
So we have to get over trying to be perfect, and we have to realize that peace comes from systems that we create, that we put in place. So the disciplines that we put in place brings us peace.
Okay.
So when you have those disciplines, when you're doing the, like, if we think about it, we literally do the same things all the time.
Right.
But a lot of the same things that we're doing all the time is not benefiting our life.
Mm.
So if you put systems in place that are going to benefit your life, like, what day are you going to organize the pantry? Because I feel like the pantry needs to be touched before you go to the grocery store,
Mm.
right? So there's no need to bring groceries in and just throw them in the disorganized pantry. Your kids have been in there making a mess. Your husband has been in there and didn't put things back, right? So if you take 5 minutes, touch up the pantry that's already organized, so it has to already be organized, right?
Right.
So we're talking about something that's already organized. If you go in, touch up the pantry really quick, put things back where they go, right? Clean up before you go to the grocery store, get rid of all the old produce and all these things, because you're bringing new produce in,
Right.
right? So you need somewhere to put them. But if you just bring in the new produce in and throwing it in the refrigerator with the old produce, that doesn't even make sense,
Exactly.
right? So taking that's a part of the systems that we create that allows us to have peace, knowing I can go into my week with fresh produce. I know what we're having for dinner. I know what we're having for lunch. So that brings us peace. The disciplines that we put in place, the systems that we put in place,
Mm.
brings us the peace instead of perfection.
Right.
Listen, you may fall off the wagon, but if you have that system in place, it's gonna be easier for you to get back on the horse,
Right.
right?
Because you
If you
made a
don't
good
have a
point, right? And saying
yeah,
that if you have it organized, if you get it together, as you bring new things in, like, okay, in order for me to reorganize or for me to reshape it, I don't have a lot to do because I've been organizing
Right.
along. I've been intentional about keeping the space manageable so
Right.
that when I go to the grocery store, but I like how you said, don't go to the grocery store and then try to organize the pantry. No, organize the pantry first and
Yep.
then organize or bring in the new groceries. So perfectionism is out the window. We're not striving for perfection, but it's all about having peace. And another thing that I thought about too, Tequila, is a lot of times on the outside looking in, like I can look at you and I can be like, man, her house is perfect. She has this. But that, what I'm looking at, that's how I see perfect, right? But
Mm-hmm.
you being in it, you may be like, hey, look, there's a whole lot more work that I need to do. So
Yes.
perfectionism is, it's kind of like beauty. It's in the eyes of the beholder, is what you're
Absolutely.
looking at. And it's probably, it's related to areas in your home or your life where you're like, I don't have that, and you're striving to get it, and you want to know how you can get it. So you
Yeah.
allow your clients to see, don't strive for perfection.
No, you
Get
can't.
over it.
Yeah, get over it.
Get
Because when
over
we're
it.
trying to be perfect, we're inevitably gonna beat ourselves up because we can't reach it.
Right.
Right? So you're trying to reach something that's unreachable.
Mm.
Right? So it doesn't even make sense. It's not logical to try to be perfect. It's more wise to put systems in place that actually are reachable and challenging that will help you. And then,
Exactly.
even on the point of organizing your pantry before you go to the grocery store, what it does too is it allows you to see what you have. A lot
Mm-hmm.
of times we go to the grocery store and we don't know what we have. So we're over purchasing items that we already have. And so that's another way that our pantry gets cluttered, our refrigerator gets cluttered, our closet gets cluttered. Oh, I didn't even know I have 5 black t-shirts, 5 black shirts that all look the same. I got this event coming up, and so I just went and bought another black shirt. But if your closet is organized and you know what you know all the black shirts are together. So I can just go in and grab a black shirt. If you know you got a bunch of can of green beans, you didn't realize you had them, but you're going to the grocery store thinking you need green beans and rice. Well, if the pantry was organized, if you
Right.
had to even take an inventory before you went to the grocery store, then you would know what I have and what I actually need. Okay, so I got a whole system too on grocery shopping and like bringing things in like before you go to the store. Like one of the biggest things I like to tell my clients is start shopping online. And I know that
Mm-hmm.
may sound contradictory because a lot of us buy too much stuff online. But if you like, for me, yesterday, me and Miles did his meal prepping. We didn't run out of smoked paprika, but we filled our little container, our because we have a spice
Mm-hmm.
drawer. We
Mm-hmm.
filled the spice drawer with the last of the large
Okay.
smoked paprika. Well, what I did was before I threw it away, I just put it in my cart.
Okay. So
So it's
because you know
sitting
you
there.
need it. Right.
It's sitting there waiting for me to when I place my next order. It's there.
Okay.
We filled up the last garlic powder, so I put it in my cart. Right. So it's a whole system that brings me peace because I know I'm not gonna run out of smoked paprika and garlic powder or whatever season because I already put it in my cart and I know I'm not gonna over purchase it and buy 10 of them, have a bunch of these different spices. Right. So I have a system that's in place that
Place.
helps me
Yeah.
know the order of what I actually need in my home instead of overbuying things that I don't need.
Mm. That I remember, this was just over the weekend, before I went to the store, because I have a cabinet that I keep all my canned goods in. And
Mm-hmm.
I wanted some green beans and corn, right? So I got
Okay.
out a can of green beans and I got a can of corn. I started looking, I said, oh wait, and I keep them organized, right? So the corn is together, green beans together. And
Yep.
I started going through, I said, wait a minute, I got a lot of corn. I said, I don't have no green beans. I had like 2 cans of green beans left. I said, you know what? I gotta get some green beans.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
But that's why I like having my pantry organized so that I know
Yep.
when I need to, when it's time to make a meal, what do I have that I can pull together in
Yep.
order to make a meal? So
Mm-hmm.
let's shift a little bit to Killer because we talked and we spoke focused a little bit on it, but we talked about the practical ways of showing up for your clients and helping them be organized. But I want to talk a little bit about the spiritual alignment with organization and
Mm.
how our faith or um, what we're going through spiritually shows up in a way of us managing our spaces and our schedules because I'm a type of person as to where not only am I organized like in my home, but even with my time, I don't like to be late for things. If you ask me to show up, like I want to be there, and like I'm okay with a 5 minute grace rule. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
5 or 10 minute grace rule. But if you got me waiting for 30 minutes, like by the time you get there, I'm bothered. And I probably don't ever want to do anything else with you
Yes.
ever again. Like, and that
Yes.
even it's like even if you invite me to an event and you tell me that the event starts at 2 o'clock, like I try to know people to the point I'm like, okay, if they tell me it starts at 2 o'clock, they're not gonna be ready to 3. So I ain't
Girl.
showing up.
Girl.
But how does faith, from your experience, how does faith show up in the way that we manage our spaces and even our calendars?
Alicia, that's a very, very I don't want to say hard question, but it's challenging because a lot of the people that I work for, or not that I work for, that I help, a lot of my clients aren't spiritual.
Okay.
And so I have to be very delicate with that, and try to figure out if they are
Okay.
without being too maybe religious.
Okay.
Right. So I have to be aware of my audience, my, I got to read the room.
Right.
Right. So I believe that it's a part of your character.
Okay.
Your time management, or lack thereof, it's a
Mm-hmm.
part of your character. And if you are a faith-based person, your character should be a reflection of your relationship with Christ.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
Right? So I can tell a lot of times that people aren't spiritually aligned because of how they're living their life.
Mm, mm,
Right? A lot of the disorder that's happening is because you're not spiritually aligned, because of your lack of your relationship with Christ. Because if you were, you would possibly be doing a little bit. You would be doing things a little bit differently.
okay.
And a lot of people are maybe on a journey to build a greater relationship with Christ, which is why they consulted with me, which is
Okay.
why they are reaching out and wanting to make a change in their life.
Mm,
Right.
okay.
So it's super layered. But for me, I know that a lot of times when I am trying to get things in order in my life is because God has nudged me.
Mm. So you feel that nudge and you take action.
And you take action, right? And so that's when not even just discipline comes into play, but the obedience that God calls us to, whatever He's telling us to do, we got to take that step, that first step.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's picking up the phone and calling up a professional to even just see what it looks like. What if you help me? What would this look like? When I
Mm-hmm.
leave a consultation, most of the time, almost 98% of the time, my client already feels better. They feel the hope. They see the possibility because I've created a space to where I didn't judge them. I didn't make them feel bad about the mess they were in. I actually made them feel comfortable where they are.
Right.
So I make them feel comfortable with where they are so I can help build them up. So spiritually, and then once I get into the space and I read the room and I know they're a spiritual person, then we can have a spiritual conversation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I read the room, see where they are so that I can help them on the level that they're at, meet them where they're at. But they know that I'm a Jesus lover,
Right.
right? But I'm not going to push that off onto them. So I just have to see, allow God to show me when I can speak certain things and say
Exactly.
certain things,
So
right?
you have to be keen in your discernment. You have to navigate through the discernment in order to go into these spaces to help them transform these spaces. Because, like you said, you don't want to just come in the door yelling, "Jesus is here," and He
Jesus,
gonna help you.
Jesus, 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 Jesus,
The
Jesus.
Holy Ghost sent me here to help you clean up your life. But the fact that you take the time to have that consultation so that your clients can get to know you, you can get to know them. By the time you leave, they know who you are and they know what you're bringing into the space. So it really does sound like that they're welcoming in the
Yes,
clarity that you bring. They're
yes,
welcome in that the welcoming in that spirit filled vocabulary that they know that you're going to bring into their space. So for your clients, it sounds like it is more than just helping them with the physical space, but also helping them to clean out the clutter that may be going on internally so that they can be aligned spiritually. But I also like how you said that sometimes it's not real about the faith, it's just about your character, because
yeah,
who you say you are, your should be reflective in
yeah,
your home, right?
yeah.
So if you say that you're going to reflect Christ, or you want to reflect Christ, and yeah, he's going to be speaking to you on what you need to be
Mm-hmm.
cleaning up.
Like,
um
even just like when you were talking about the time, me showing up on time, right? Me having the tools or the things that I need that I said I would have, or doing the things that I said I would do, being on the call on time, making sure we have things ordered. And like they really, most of them think it's about the physical space. But once I get my hands on them, they
mhm,
realize it's way deeper. It's
mhm,
way deeper than your physical space. And so I love the coaching aspect of organization,
mhm,
not just doing the physical stuff, but while we're doing the physical, I'm having conversations, in depth conversations about certain things, how you can change this, how we can get buy in from our family members, how we can take this, what we feel like is disorganization or, clutter and all these things, how we can bring peace and clarity into it beyond the physical
mm.
in your schedule, in your lifestyle, how you wake up in the morning, the things you do before you go to bed at night to prepare for your next day. So it's a very spiritual act, and allowing God to help you discern those things, how to set your day up for success the night before,
Mm.
right? That's something that I've been doing for a long time. And sometimes I fall off the wagon. And, it's just what it is. We're human beings. And that's
Exactly.
another thing when it comes in, we talk about perfection. Nobody is perfect.
Exactly.
Like, we're going to fall off the wagon. We're going to make a mistake. But tomorrow's a new day.
Exactly. So, and let me just remind everyone that Takilla is giving us, these nuggets for free because while she's not in our space helping us to get organized, this conversation is a conversation like people pay to have these moments with her. So I am definitely humbled that you have chosen to bless us in this capacity. But I want you to take a moment, Takilla, and bring it down to the woman who's watching or listening right now who feels buried and overwhelmed with
Mm.
life. What is one simple organizational shift that can create immediate peace for that woman?
I think the biggest thing that we need to do is look at our schedule.
Mm,
A lot of times we're overwhelmed because of the things that we are putting on our plate,
okay.
the not saying no. And when I listen to your question, sometimes people may think of that as what can I do physically to get my life in order to bring some sort of peace. it's usually not the physical stuff that's secondary.
Mm.
What needs to happen first is for you to make a decision. I want something different for my life. I want something better for my life. So we got to decide to say no.
Mm.
I had somebody on my podcast recently, girl. She blew my mind. She said no. It means next opportunity.
I like it.
Listen, you give them the next opportunity to get somebody else to do it, okay?
Exactly. Move
Listen,
on. Next caller.
because at one point in my life, I was saying yes to everything and everybody. And so it wasn't somebody else putting all this pressure on me, all this weight on me. It wasn't even
Right.
my physical space. It was me saying yes to certain things.
Right.
A lot of our overwhelm is coming from external things like going to all the events, all of our listen, I was big on going to all my kids' stuff. All the church things. Listen, if the doors was open, I was there. Okay. Everything I was saying yes to everything and everybody. If you invited me, I was coming. So the
Mm.
first thing I feel like we have to do is to look at our schedule, look at our lives, and what are some things we could eliminate. Pastor talked about that yesterday, right?
Right.
What are some things you can remove from your life in order to just bring some clarity and some peace? You
Mm.
got to take some things away. And even in your physical space, you can, if we just go make it a little bit simple and plain, just find one space. It could be your nightstand, it could be your handbags, it could be your cups. One thing, and just declutter it.
Right.
Not organize it, right? Because that's two different things. Declutter it. Get rid of the things that are not benefiting your life. Find one thing. Nightstands are one of my favorite things to tell my clients to do because you see it all the time and it gets cluttered so fast.
Exactly.
Girl, we had cups, forks, earrings, right?
Tissue paper,
Books,
all the medicines.
the medicines, everything. Declutter your nightstand, declutter your drawers on your nightstand. Find one space, one small space, declutter it, and then possibly organize it. And that would just start your journey off like, okay, I did this one space. I could do one more small space.
Exactly.
Because it's not about getting the entire house done. It's one small space at a time, especially when you don't have professional help in the space. You'll quickly overwhelm yourself even more if you
Oh
try to do
yeah.
too much at one time.
Don't go in there and take all them clothes out that closet thinking you finna.
Baby, you're going to be laying on those closets at that night.
You're gonna be so mad. 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock roll around and you tired and you still got up. Mm-mm.
Listen, you're going to be like, okay, well, let me scoot these clothes over. Husband, you got to sleep on the couch.
Right. We got
And
clothes on the bed.
listen, okay? Yeah, so do a little bit at a time if you're organizing your physical space. If you want to get your life in order, organize your life, you want to look at your do a calendar audit. Look at your life, see what's on your calendar, see what you've been doing and what you can get rid of, what you can say no to,
Right.
right? So that you can, because if you're saying yes to everything, you're saying no to something. So maybe it's something you need to be saying yes with.
Yes, too.
Maybe I need to say no to all these things and say yes to God. Spend some more time with Him. Get up, instead of rushing and going to all these things, get up and spend some time with God.
Right. And say no and get up and organize your house.
That too. Yeah,
Because then maybe if your house was livable, like and enjoyable and peaceful, you wouldn't want to be out. Because listen, I love being at home. I love being in my house.
me too.
It this space me and the Lord have created, I love it. Not only do I like it to be welcoming for me, but I like my space to be welcoming for my family. Because since I work from home and I'm here, but like when I'm at home, I'm taking the time to pray over my home. I'm taking the time to clean up the space.
Mm,
Like when my husband comes home, like I don't want it to be clutter all over the place.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to smell like day old shoes up in this space.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
let it be peaceful so he can come in, know what he needs to grab and eat, and eat
Yeah.
his dinner, and get ready to go to bed, and not trying to fight over what
You,
needs to be done.
and that's that system that you put in place that brings you peace. That
Right.
discipline that you put in place that brings you peace.
Exactly.
So I just recently had a client. She became a goodwillaholic.
Mm.
Okay. She had convinced herself, well, since I'm taking something, I can buy something. Well, you buying way more things than you bringing in.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So I'm like, if you spent the same amount of time organizing your house or cleaning up your house that you are spending the hours at the Goodwill, then the exchange would be worth it.
Right.
Right? Then I had a client, she was hooked on one of them, not Amazon, one of them other websites or whatever, that they come, get them $5 items. And I'm like,
Like Timu
girl,
or something like that. Yeah.
yeah, I said, count up all them $5. You could pay for a session for me to come in,
Wow.
help you get organized instead of buying all these things that's cluttering up your space.
Yeah. Because
So
in
say
12
no.
months, those $5, you're not gonna remember them $5 items in 12 months. I
And
know
they
in 30
break.
days you ain't gonna remember
They
them.
break. They
Yeah.
cheap.
Yeah. You're not gonna remember that stuff.
So you
You're gonna
gotta
throw
say
it
no
away.
to that and say yes to something else.
So what I'm hearing is no is an answer and
Yes.
no is a complete sentence.
And amen.
It's very empowering. Say no to some
Yes.
things. And that goes beyond our physical spaces. Just say no so that you can manage your life and manage
Absolutely.
your calendar. Are there
Absolutely.
any because you talked about balance, you talked about having some clarity. And these things, they don't just happen by happenstance. They don't just
Hmm.
appear on our own. We like to say you have to be disciplined. But are there any other spiritual practices that you put in play on a personal level, like prayer, journaling, reflection? I know you gotta be praying over these clients. I know you gotta be taking the time to write some thoughts out. Because I almost see, Takilla, what you do is, it's to me, it's just as equally as important as counseling. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like, it's counseling on another level. I mean, and for you to go into these environments, I remember I used to watch the TV show Hoarders.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I didn't really watch it for the beginning portion of the show, but I love to see
The
the
transformation.
transformation. I
Yes.
love to see the tears of joy that came from
Yes.
these. Like, I could feel that release coming off
Yes.
of them, and that's really why I enjoyed it. But to how they went into the space, it was just like, I need some help. Like, I have gotten to the place where I need some help. And I know for you, when you go into this space, because if I walked this, I would be like, no, whoa, wait a minute. This this too much.
Yeah.
This too much. But what spiritual practice do you put in place that not only help you to personally pair with organizing to maintain on a personal level, but to help you go into these spaces with clarity?
Um, so I pray regularly. I'm definitely a journaler almost every day. Um, and I do devotions.
Okay.
So those are for my personal well-being, which also reflects into my character and into my conversations with clients.
Right.
But when I'm going to a client's house, when I'm going to, especially the first session, especially the first call, I'm praying that God would give me wisdom to help this particular person because
Okay.
no two clients are the same. So on my way there is somewhat of a nervousness that I would be able to help them,
Mm.
that I would be able to make a difference in their life because it's not just about doing the physical stuff because when I leave what's gonna
Right.
happen. But I love when I get a text from a client or a call from a client or email that says, I remember when you told me this, and it could have been 6 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just implemented, and I can't believe I didn't do this a long time ago.
Mm.
Right. So I am praying when before I get there on my way there. If it's a Zoom call, if it's a virtual client, I'm praying before we get on the call because I desire so much to help people.
Mm-hmm.
right? That's just a part of my character, who I am, who God has created me to be, not just in business, that's in life.
Right.
So, in ministry, that's what I want to do. I want to help people. And so I constantly pray, like, Lord, give me the wisdom to help this person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what is it that they need to hear? What is it that they need to see? What is it that I need to do to make sure that I'm actually helping them?
Right. And I want to go back because you said something that is so profound, and I don't want people to miss what you said. But when you talked about how when you show up into these spaces and you're nervous about if you're going to be able to help them. And the reason I want to just take a pause and just kind of extract that for a minute is because that lets me know, and everybody else that's watching, is that you're not depending on your own self, but God, you're going to have to come in and help me.
Yes.
Because when you show up and you're like, yeah, I got this. I've been doing this for 10 years. Well, actually, my whole life, I've been doing this. I'm going to show up. It's just like when a minister is ministering the word of God. When you ever get to that place where you're not nervous about your gift, you're
Mm,
operating in self.
yes.
Like, we should always be nervous, not nervous to the point where we're fearful and paralyzed, but nervous because you're like, God, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how things are going to work out, but I'm trusting you for the spiritual outcome. Showing up in flesh and thinking just because you've done it for so long is going to equal to automatic transformation is not relying on God. So if you want Takilla to come into your space, know that she's bringing the Holy Ghost with her.
Absolutely.
She is bringing the Holy Ghost with her. She's bringing the discernment. But I don't want to say I'm glad, but I like how you brought that out because that is key in operating in our gifts. And it's so empowering and it's so refreshing to know that even though this is your profession, you still go in and you treat every single one of your clients on an individual basis, but on a human level
Yeah.
to connect with them.
So, one of the biggest things that I think people need to know is everybody is ashamed of their space that calls me. Nobody calls me and is like, girl, I just need a little bit of help. They're embarrassed. They don't want me to come in. They're ashamed, right, for me to even come.
Mm-hmm.
And a
It's
lot
gotten
of
to
times,
that point. It's like the
yes,
hoarders. It's like the
yes,
show. Okay.
absolutely. And so when we talk about hoarders, it's levels to it. So there's extreme hoarding, there's like level one, two, three, four. It's levels to it.
Okay.
And many of us are living on the low level. 54% of America lives in clutter.
Oh wow.
And that's just statistically showing, but I believe that the number is more higher. And even a lot of my colleagues believe that the number is more higher than that. And it's all relative, right? Because what you deem as clutter, somebody else may not deem as clutter,
Right.
right?
Right.
So when I go into somebody's house, first of all, I'm working with a different personality. I'm working with a different spirit. I'm
Mm-hmm.
working with a different stuff, items. I'm working with a different culture. So
Mm-hmm.
it's so many different layers to this person. And so I walk in, sometimes it's like a lot of clutter, and sometimes it's for me it's just super easy. Like this, oh, this is nothing, right?
Right.
This is gonna be, I know this looks very challenging for you, but this is very manageable. And then sometimes there are spaces where like I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done. But Alicia, I'm so serious. I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get it done, but I just know my systems. I
Mm-hmm.
know the systems that God has given me. You start clearing the floor first. You make room. So I
Okay.
have, when I work with even when I work with my clients online, I give them step by step what to do. Like you
Okay.
don't go in and try to fix all the cabinets first, right? It's steps that you take in order to achieve the goal that you want. My systems are proven, right? Because I worked them first. And so now I'm giving them to you. And so with
Mm-hmm.
my virtual clients, I walk them through that process. But the point that I'm making is that I can see the space, and inside of the space, you see clutter and chaos, and I can see possibility.
Right.
And so inside of that, even in the ones that I'm like, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done, or it could be more so, Lord, I don't know how I'm gonna get this done in this amount of time. It could be different things, but overall, it's like, okay, I need your help to get me to the other side.
Right.
Because sometimes the clients get overwhelmed. Like we could be hour in, and it could look worse than it did when I got there. And
Mm-hmm.
they're like, I don't know how. Like I had a client on Monday, last Monday. We it was about 2 hours in. She was like, I don't know how we're gonna get this. I'm like, girl, we done got through the hard part. The rest of this is easy breezy.
Right. Right.
Okay. So they can't see. So I help to bring vision and clarity to them. But I do have a trembling inside of me, wanting to honor them, honor God, the what He's put inside of me, and honoring them and making them not feel less than.
Right. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
Creating that space to release the negativity, the whatever energy that is in
Mhm.
everything that is in the space, just being
Yeah.
able to just let go of all of that. So
Mhm.
I want to end this conversation, Tequila, with the fruit of all of this work because you shared a lot of information. You've given us some practical tips and tricks that we can use in our life to start that discipline of organization. But I want you to take a minute and talk about the impact of becoming peacefully organized. And you can talk about, because, and I know that you have examples from your clients, but what changes that ripple effect that you see that happens in your clients? Like I talked about when I watched the TV show Hoarders, and just to see that release and those tears flow. But what changes do you see that ripple into the lives of these women or your clients when they become peacefully organized?
Um, I think, like you just said, and it's probably the reason I do what I do, is I instantly see a weight lifted off of them.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first session is my absolute favorite because they don't realize, they didn't believe that we could get this much done this fast.
Right.
They didn't believe that we could get this done at all.
Exactly.
And so having them just start to feel a sense of relief of, oh my gosh, there's possibility,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then the big question that they bring when I'm getting ready to leave, okay, what do I do until you come back? What homework do you want me to do? Like they're eager for me to come back,
Okay.
right? And I love how it ripples down to their children.
Mm-hmm.
So I am in the process. I've been doing this for a long time and I'm going to get it done. I want to create the Organized Kids campaign
Okay.
because they thrive in organization.
Mm-hmm.
They are the best accountability partners, okay? They gonna tell you, Mom, that does not go there. Mr. Killer didn't say that. Mr. Killer told you to do it like that. When I tell you that's what they do, okay? The parents, my clients be calling me and telling me, now you done got my kids on my case, okay? When I'm there and the kids will come and I see them standing there watching me, so I make them my assistant. I say, do you want to help me? Yes, they're so excited. Okay, well, then I give them things to do. I want you
Okay.
to take all the forks, put all the forks together, all the spoons together, whatever the case may be, give
Right.
them something to do and they can get involved, right? So then when I leave, they the accountability that I need in the house.
Right.
Because Mr. Killer didn't say do it like that. Okay? But it impacts the entire family. Now, mind you, all the kids are not gonna buy in, but it
Right.
may be one or two, right? If you have multiple, we gonna get at least one to buy in, okay?
Somebody gonna buy into it.
Yes.
Somebody's gonna do it.
Yeah, and so I love one of my clients. One, I was just talking to one person, and oh, it was her son, her oldest son, and I was helping him. I was getting his. She bought my laundry transformation system, so I
Okay.
transformed the laundry in the entire house, how it flowed, how they washed their clothes, how they put them away, how they hung them. And so I was working in her son's room, and every time I stepped foot in his room, he was like, "What you doing? Why you putting that right there? I didn't have it like that. Why you moving it like that?" What? So I was like, "Okay, well, come on, brother, help me
Right.
help you. Like,
Right.
how do you want it?" And so he was very, and she's like, since then, she's like, you can't tell him nothing about his space. Okay, he loves it. So it ripples down to like you start to see, even if the change isn't immediate,
Hmm.
right? Over time, you'll see, okay, I remember we did it like this. Let me try it again, or let me call Takilla. But it's a slight transformation over time. Even like
Hmm.
in our spiritual walk, like the things don't happen overnight,
Overnight. Exactly.
right? It's
That's
a
true.
small transformation. So that's why I got into the coaching side of things, because the physical space, I go in and help them get it done. 6 months later, they're probably going to be back where they were when I left. If we didn't get that system in place, if we don't have those coaching calls,
Hmm.
it just goes back to the same thing if we don't have some type of accountability.
Exactly.
So to answer your question, it's a ripple effect into, it could be their children's life. A lot of times the husband don't buy in until after the second or third session, when he see, okay, well, maybe my money was a good investment.
Right.
Because a lot of times we get resistance from the husband because they don't think it's a good investment. They think their wife should be able to figure it out.
Mm.
And a lot of times, it's, of course, that's not necessarily the case. They
Right.
just don't have the gift, the wherewithal to do
Exactly.
it. And so they don't know how to even start. So once
Hmm.
they start to see the value of their dollar being put into place, I had a husband. Okay, after that first two sessions, oh, he was in the next session with us, right? He was trying to figure out, okay, well, how can we do my stuff,
Right. Okay,
right?
then. He's like,
So it trickles down into the family, into your everyday life, and into, okay, well, what's to killer? What's next? So how do I do this? How do I level
right.
this up? So it's just a ripple effect that happens in the entire life, and I'm all about the holistic approach.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody is going to be able to buy into what you're bringing into the home. And I like how you talked about the kids are the greatest accountability partners because
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, you were the accountability partner in your home, arranging them CDs and DVDs in alphabetical
Listen,
order. And I
listen.
dare you to put it in the wrong place.
I dare you. I'm tapping your hand. I'm tapping your hand.
The that seed, why is it at the end? It need to go back to them
That's
seeds.
right.
It need to
And
bring it
no,
back.
just bring it to me, and I'll put it back on the shelf. Okay.
Don't even touch it.
Don't even touch it.
I'm holding it. Bring it to
Just
me
put it
and
on the
I'll make
top of the
sure.
shelf, and I'll put it back. Cause
Listen,
y'all
I,
doing it.
I have done some color coordinating, like with my books and like my closet is color coordinated.
Yeah.
But I've alphabetical. No, I ain't never done that.
Well, listen,
'Cause-
I had time. I was
right,
12.
yeah, you had time to do the alphabets, but yeah.
Yeah.
So to all those who do the alphabets, and even when you talked about that laundry, because um I just started within like the past 12 to 14 months because I used to be the person where I would wash one day, put it in the dryer, and unless it's something I had to hang up to dry, like it's gonna be in the dryer until I get to it, right?
Hello.
Or I may take it out the dryer and at least put it in the basket. But just within the past, I would say like year and a half, I started washing, putting in the dryer, folding, and putting everything up on the same day. And when I
Mm-hmm.
tell you, like it's life is so much simpler. Like even
Yeah.
now, if my husband, if he goes to work, like I'd be like, baby, if you're gonna wash clothes before you go to work, like let me know before you put your clothes, because I need to make sure that I can take them clothes out the wash machine, put them in the dryer, and put them up for you, because I don't just want them sitting there till you get off work, because I
Mm-hmm.
know you're just gonna put them in the dryer and leave them in there. When I get ready to go in and wash clothes, it's gonna be clothes and dry. So just let me know.
Yes.
And that gives like that's that buy-in that you have to get from everybody. So if he puts a load in there, like, babe, put some clothes in there. Okay, cool. I can.
Yeah.
My daughter's the same way because, like I said, I work from home, so I don't mind being, a partner and helping people out, right? I
Yeah.
put some clothes in. Okay, I got you. I'll put them in the dryer. And, my daughter may not go through all the steps of folding them, but I'll take them out the dryer for you and put them in your room.
Yeah.
When you get
So
home, you can fold them and put them
that's
in the
right. That's the laundry cycle. And I did a
Exactly.
whole podcast on the laundry cycle, making sure you complete the laundry cycle. And some families can't complete the laundry cycle in one day.
Mm-hmm.
Some families I say take the weekend. And I say start on Friday, do
Right.
Friday, Saturday instead of Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah.
Because if you throw some clothes in Friday when you get home from school, so most people have like if you got a traditional size family, maybe 2, 3 kids, mother, father, that's a lot of loads. So you probably got
Mm-hmm.
looking at 5 loads of laundry total
Right.
with the towels, the sheets, all of these things, starting on one day and completing on another, right? So you got to sort, wash, dry, fold, hang, and put away.
Right.
That's the laundry cycle. If you're not completing the laundry cycle, you're causing yourself a headache. That's another system that you can put in place that brings you peace.
Right. Because you got stuff that's in the dryer or in the dirty clothes basket, and you out here buying more stuff because the stuff that you need to wear, you need to go wash it.
That girl, that is one of the biggest things. Men will go buy drawers.
Right.
Okay? My bachelors will
Right.
go buy more underwear and t-shirts before they wash them. Okay?
Let's wash it.
So then they have a drawer full that we can't even fit all of the
All of it
undies
in there.
in the drawer because you keep buying them instead of washing them.
Just go wash them.
Just go wash them. Or
Wash them.
they don't feel like digging in it. They don't wash them and they in the basket and they don't want to dig. So they like, I can't find no underwear. I'm just gonna go buy
Just
some.
go buy some more. But there
Girl.
is there is deliverance and healing in just taking the time to be organized.
Yes, it's
And
so
as
much
we
peace.
start this year, take the time to be organized. I start
Yeah.
off saying that even if you are already a person who, thrives in organization, prayerfully you have learned something that can help you get a little bit more organized and just to stay consistent with the organization. But Takilla, listen, you dropped some gems, and I thank you for joining me in this conversation and how we can live an organized life. And it all starts in the home. How you show up in this world is a reflection of how you live in your house.
Yeah.
And we've given or you've given our viewers more in-depth details on some practices to create systems that work on an individual basis. And, like I said, this information is free, but if you want some more in depth information, reach out to Takilla. I'll drop her information below so that you can reach out to her. But God doesn't want our lives to be filled with chaos. And
Mm,
He has definitely gifted her to help us work through some of that chaos physically and spiritually. So, Takilla, thank you again for bringing this conversation. Everybody that's watching, protect your peace with organization. Just
yes.
protect it with
Yes. Yes.
organization. And until the next time, just be blessed, but most importantly, be organized.
Be organized.
Be
Yes.
organized.